Hey! Today we are covering why crypto is fucked today. So, without further ado, I'm Liz. I cover crypto at different levels of complexity, and today we're going through my rants, which I think a lot of people can understand. Like, usually when they ask me about crypto, I don't even tell them about crypto tokens or whatever. There's just no point. It's as if a doctor, you're like, hey doctor, what should I do for my health? And then they go on about the systemic issues of inequality that exists in the healthcare system, including those who are more privileged going into healthcare because they have parents who can support them. Also, the incredibly difficult situations that doctors must suffer under, all the debt that they have to go through, and then the patients that they treat and how they're being sent there. Anyways, I'm not a doctor, but that's sort of my position as someone who is in crypto. Keep in mind, this is not legal nor financial advice. All these are my opinions from my biases. But the things that make me most flamed up today are, first topic, TikTok comments, general social media, portrayal, and laziness. So, as you guys might know, I have a TikTok channel. And on this TikTok channel, I only talk about crypto. Which, it's fitting for me. A lot of comments I get are these, where it's NFTs are bad, crypto is bad for the environment, all these billionaire corporations, crypto is only filled by dudes, and all these misconceptions that I'm sure come from somewhere, but to me as someone who's more in the industry does not feel true. And it makes me, I want to educate them, but there are so many of them that it's very, very hard, because I know the thing is at the end of the day, this is a person, they don't say it from a bad place. It's this is just what they know. Where are they getting their media sources from? And why did they choose to accept this sort of narrative that crypto is bad? It's usually more from people who just don't know much about tech, honestly. And that, I find it incredibly sad, because tech is one of the driving innovators field in our lifetime, in our generation. And if they choose to be closed-minded, whether consciously or unconsciously, they shut themselves out from more financial and socioeconomic stability, which I find incredibly sad, because again, these are normally people who haven't had access to these opportunities, and it makes sense that they would be in situations where they continue thinking this way. I hope that didn't sound really weird, but that goes into my next point about how hard it is to be an educator on social media. I am obviously usually very optimistic. I want people to understand because it's important for them, and there's just unimaginable stability at the other side. But it's hard because on social media, the thing that gets you the most views are your viral videos, which tend to be a little bit either controversial or absolutely mind-blowing, and it's viral, easily repeatable. When someone watches it, they can easily repeat it or share it. They get it instantly. For more complex topics like crypto, which involves a lot about, not necessarily, but it could involve a lot with money supply, economics, development, engineering, governance, politics, things like that. There are, a ton of different fields where you need to have a lay of the land to understand how things work. Not necessarily, but as you get deeper, it's important to have this general understanding of the world. And a lot of people just don't have those foundational understandings. Not their fault. It just has not been a season in their life where they get to learn about those topics. But yeah, as an educator, if you're trying to teach someone on social media, you can't hit on the topics that involve a deep understanding unless somebody is really invested in your content and has seen so much of your content. And you have to guarantee that yourself has laid out all the basic understandings that other people lack, which you as an educator perhaps don't even know the blind spots. It's as if, you're trying to teach someone English and you're a native English speaker, and non-native English speakers ask you this, and you're I don't know, this just sounds natural to me, which is why a lot of non-native English speakers want to have someone who doesn't speak English, who had to learn English and actually can identify with their struggles, which makes a lot of people like me not necessarily best suited, but a different source of voices. So instead of someone who's already been in the crypto industry teaching crypto topics, which involves usually a lot of abstractions, assumptions that certain topics, I'm also coming from the same level. So that makes me pretty easy to communicate topics that I learn as I'm learning. But yeah, just as a social media educator, it's very tough to create content that's going to continuously grow, because obviously I care a lot about getting people to understand crypto, but there's no point in making all of this if no one's going to find it. And trying to catch everyone up so that we're all at a similar level. I was actually talking to a few more like content creators who are more in personal finance, that they're like, like I would love to go into the niche topics, but for like most of my viewership, it just doesn't make sense and they won't get it and it'll further confuse them, which will make them not trust me anymore. And I think it's like super important to be able to create content that your audience relates to. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you're not going to be like, oh my God, she's so smart, I don't know what she's saying. You're going to be like, I don't know what she's saying, she doesn't care about me, and she's very condescending. So that's generally how I feel about other content creators. Like, okay, they don't make an effort to connect with their audience, so they're not very good, and I don't trust them to share information with me, even if their information is actually quite good. So another thing is, I think in our generation, there's TikToks about do your own research, especially in crypto. But the thing is, you're not doing your own research unless I honestly am addressing myself here, unless you're like a researcher and you know how to conduct proper scientific research and look for biases and be open-minded. You're probably not doing research, you're probably just looking for bias confirmation. And the frustrating thing about this is that I see a lot of people who are like, okay, I hear that you're saying not financial advice, do your own research, but should I buy this like meme coin? I'm like, no. But they're like, but I looked at X, Y, and Z. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. When you did your own research, you were probably like, hey, I want to look at something that makes me safe enough to argue with this person who has their own crypto content channel, who spends night and day in their life breathing crypto. I'm going to tell them that I don't believe them, and I'm going to try to convince them that they're right, even though I don't really know much about meme coins, but I feel like I've done enough research. And it's not research, it's just bias confirmation. And I'm like super guilty of that too. So for example, if you're Googling something and you're like, what crypto should I buy? Should I buy X? Should I buy Y? A lot of the articles that you see on the first page of Google are all SEO optimized. They're not there for your benefit. They're there for whoever wrote its benefits and whoever wrote its advertisers' benefits. It's not like you're getting quality content just because it's on the first page. It's because they pay to be there. They paid someone else to optimize their content to be on the first page, and they want something from you. Like, to be super honest. So that's something I've been also thinking about. And it's also crazy how political crypto has gotten. It blows my mind. Crypto and the whole anti-mask thing. I saw this one TikTok. It was Donald Trump and Candace Owens having a conversation about masks and vaccines.
Ho, players. Now, isn't this a sight to behold? Tweedledee and Tweedledubber are reunited, and it feels so good. Now, although this union was highly anticipated, Ku Klux Candy was just as giddy as a schoolgirl, and Frumpy Duck was as happy as a flea on a dog's ass to be interviewed by Candy. But y'all, it is a series of unfortunate events for Candy, because Frumpy Duck believes that he created the vaccine. And because he believes he created it, he's going to defend it whether Candace likes it or not.
More people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how...
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, Candy, I know you upset it to be embarrassed like that. She really thought that Frumpy Duck was going to down the vaccine, but she missed the memo. Frumpy Duck wants full credit for that vaccine, and because he wants the credit, he's not going to talk shit about it. So he shut Candy ass right on up with the misinformation and lies. I declare, Ku Klux Candy, what a disgrace. Got punked by your own leader.
And the comments were so funny. It was like, am I agreeing with Donald Trump on several points? This is the first time I've heard him very rational. Obviously, you can tell which side of the aisle these people were coming from, who were commenting those things. But yeah, it was super surprising for me too, to see just unnecessarily how political everything has gotten, and not necessarily me becoming a such single issue voter, but I can see how people become single issue voters very rapidly if it's about something that you care a lot about. For example, it shocks me that Ted Cruz is a crypto backer. It shocks me that Ted Cruz is like, yeah, and then crypto people have to be like, okay, I guess we're gonna have to take this guy. Or like some people are like, oh my god, I love Ted Cruz, Zodiac Killer. I don't know. But for me, I'm like, well, I guess this is the best we got because at least in America, Senator Warren hates us. Even though this would be very beneficial for a lot of people. And Ted Cruz backs crypto. That's crazy. And then because of that, a lot of people, when they don't have allies to push forward good regulation for everyone involved, they're gonna have to pick the person who's the most willing to be open to have these conversations, even if it doesn't necessarily agree with the majority's political views or whatever. This is a huge rant. I'm not skilled in politics or anything like that, so please feel free to disagree with me here and educate me. It's generally better when more people can participate in something, decision-making that's gonna impact millions of other people, and to have more people at the table who represent the actual user base. Like, for example, government. Imagine if we had more women or people of color to actually advocate for issues. Yeah, it just honestly makes me very frustrated that with crypto, the people involved in it are generally white American men still, like, again. Whereas a lot of my excitement for crypto comes from its capacity to help people in underserved countries and developing countries who honestly aren't white, may or may not speak English, and it's a lot of community for women and children and everyone of all ages. And really frustrates me. So anyways, this is like my rant on like how crypto is fucked. I hope that like through watching this, you have like a lot of comments to add about this and also help me think more critically through this. This is probably like one of the longest rants I've done. I don't even know if it's useful, but yeah, please let me know what was like the thing that stuck out the most about what your, like what you want to hear from me as someone who's working in crypto. So I'll see you in my next video, and please check out the next free resources for people who are interested in crypto. I'm going to link them down in the description, and also just like generally show the screenshots here for like sheet256.org, kernel.community, Ethereum. And yeah, please check them out. Please just like start learning yourself from the official websites. Don't even listen to me because again, I am a biased human being. I am not like a role model of any kind. Literally just like being a person who cares about like certain things and doesn't care about other things. I'll see you guys in my next vid.